Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Okay. A very good evening to Miss Venica. And firstly, I would like to say thank you for helping me and be a participant for my interview. So now I would like to ask a few questions that is related towards students, uh, related to teaching English towards students. So, Miss, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, for the first question, what are some of the common challenges that you face when teaching English as a second language to 7 until 12 years old?
Okay. During my internship, I do face some common challenges when teaching English to children between the ages of 7 and 12. And one challenge is the wide range of English proficiency levels in a single classroom. For example, I teach year 2 and year 4 students who are 8 and 10 years old respectively. And I noticed that some of the children are quite fluent and can express themselves well, while others, the others are struggling to understand even simple instructions. And I remember during one of my first English lessons, I asked the class to circle the correct word, and a few people just stare at their books, unsure of what to do. And that moment made me realize how important it is to simplify instruction and use visuals or examples. Another common challenge is helping these children overcome their fear of speaking English because many of them actually afraid of making mistakes in front of their friend especially, so they tend to stay quiet, and I try to create a safe and supportive environment where they feel comfortable trying even if they don't get everything right. For example, if they are wrong, I will not reprimand them. Instead, I gently correct them and highlight what they did well first. I might say that was a great try. You used the right verb, but let's fix the sentence structure a bit. This way, they will feel encouraged to keep speaking without the fear of being embarrassed in front of their classmate. Yeah.
Okay. So we're moving on to the next question. Okay, Miss? So, how do you address or manage language incompetency among your pupils, especially those who struggle to communicate or understand basic English? Could you share some specific methods or activities that you use?
Yeah, sure. When I notice that some pupils are really struggling to understand or express themselves in English, I try to break things down as simply as possible. I often use visual aids like flashcards, real objects, or even simple drawings on the board to help make the meaning more clear. And one method that has worked well for me is using songs and action based learning. For example, I once taught part of the body using the song Head, Shoulder, Knees, and Toes. And there I noticed that even the quietest pupils started participating and repeating the words with a smile. I also try to use a lot of repetition and routine in my lesson, especially for students who need more time to process the language, and pairing them with more confident classmates during speaking tasks can help too because it allows them to observe and learn without pressure. And sometimes I will use games like Simon Says or matching activities to make learning feel less formal and more fun. And I feel like the Simon Say is a great way to reinforce language skills by giving simple comments like touch your nose or jump, but only when Simon Say. It encourages students to listen carefully and follow direction, all while being physically active. And I believe this playful environment helps students feel more comfortable practicing the language and naturally build their confidence.
Ah, I see. So, Miss, in your experience, what are at least two major factors that affect children's ability to learn, acquire, or master the English language?
From what I observed during my internship, one big factor is the environment at home. Children who are exposed to English through cartoons, books, or even simple conversations tend to pick up the language more quickly. I have pupils who love watching English cartoons, and they often surprise me with how well they understand basic instruction and vocabulary. Even my niece is a good example of this. She absolutely loves watching Peppa Pig. And through that, she has picked up a lot of basic English words and phrases. She may not speak as full sentences yet, but she understands simple instruction like sit down, come here, or be quiet, and can even respond with short answers like yes or no. And from there, it's clear that her regular exposure to English through these cartoons has helped her develop a strong foundation in the language even without formal lessons. On the other hand, I think children who don't hear or use English much outside school usually need more time and support.
I see. So, lastly, Miss, could you share some advice for other teachers or parents to support children's second language acquisition, especially in a multilingual environment?
Of course, I have seen firsthand how naturally children can pick up a second language just through fun and meaningful exposure. For example, like I have mentioned before, my niece was only 2 years old when she started watching English cartoons like Peppa Pig. No one actually formally taught her, but she began using new words and even forming full sentences just from watching the shows. It really showed me how powerful, early, and enjoyable exposure can be. Now, for the age 7 to 12, the same principle I think still applies, but with a bit more variety and interaction. At this stage, they are more aware and curious, right? So we can support them in more intentional ways. One of the best things parents or teachers can do is for us to encourage watching age appropriate English shows or movies. And subtitles can be really helpful too because they help children connect spoken and written language without making it feel like a lesson. Another great practice is encouraging them to read English books that match their interest, whether it's comic, fantasy story, or fun fact books. I personally love reading English novels, and I believe that's a big reason why my English improved so much as well. And I think like when we enjoy reading, language learning can be become more natural and enjoyable. So from my experience, when learning feels relaxed, supportive, or enjoyable, something that we enjoy, I think that the children can naturally develop a genuine interest in the language, just like my niece through watching this cartoon.
Okay. So thank you for your time, Miss Venica, and thank you.
Yeah, you too, Miss Valinda.